Okay, guys, it is now time for our official 2023 NFL Draft betting preview with the picks that we like best. So, as of Monday morning here, Bryce Young minus 1,600 to be the top overall pick. So, not a whole lot of intrigue there, especially from a betting perspective. Now, what you want to keep in mind here with the NFL Draft and your bets is you don't want to wait till Thursday get your bets in for the draft because a lot of the value will be gone. And in some cases, sports books will be taking some of the offers or some of the bets off the board as new information comes to light. So Monday, this is a perfect time to get your bets in. So let's get right into it. Ian and I have our three favorite bets, and I'm going to get us started. A little plus money play here. I like CJ Stroud to be the third overall pick. You can get that at plus 270. So here's why I like this bet. It's very much worth the risk. So Texans picking second. Looks like they're going in a different direction here. You read the tea leaves here a little bit as Stroud continues to drop in the betting markets. He was the favorite to be the top pick for a few weeks. Then he got leapfrogged by Young. Then we saw Will Anderson become the favorite to be the second overall pick. Now Will Levis is the favorite to go number 2 overall. Maybe the Texans soured on Stroud, or maybe they never liked him in the first place. Talent here is undeniable, and teams will be eager to trade up. Just look at his stats from the Peach Bowl this past season, the Rose Bowl the season before that. This is a big game player, and he has serious potential to be a big-time quarterback in the NFL. And the Cardinals are in a great position here to trade up. Adam Schefter report that 6 teams have already inquired about the number 3 overall pick. So many glaring needs on the Arizona roster. They're clearly in rebuild mode. An obvious trade partner right behind them in the Colts. Maybe the Falcons surprise people. Maybe the Titans look to move up from 11. They appear to be ready to start over at the position. CJ Stroud, number 3 overall, plus 270. All right, Ian, your favorite pick for the draft. What are we looking at?
My very favorite pick for the draft is over 3.5 wide receivers to be selected in the first round, coming in at minus 120. I think we're going to see a lot of wide receiver needy teams that pick late in the first round, picking 15th or later in the draft. In the first round, you have the Packers, you have the Lions, you have the Chargers, you have the Ravens, Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Chiefs, all teams who could certainly use some help at the wide receiver position. And there's no clear number 2 at the wide receiver position in the draft. JSN is a clear number 1, but then you have Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, all who could be the number 2 guy on a different team's boards, which I actually think will help things out. If there's no clear number 2 and some different teams have a different number 2, they're going to be willing to take him a little bit later on in the round if a couple of the other guys have already been selected. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 5 wide receivers selected in the very first round. So if you can find any alternate lines over 4.5 at big plus money, I think there might be some value there. Obviously, you have JSN, you have Addison, you got Johnston, you got Flowers, but Josh Downs out of UNC is also a potential first-round pick. So I think we're going to see a ton of wide receivers come off the board in the first round. So I like over 3.5 at minus 120.
Hey, back to me here. A bet that I absolutely love. Lions. So the position of the first player that they draft, quarterback, you can get that at minus 130. I think that this is an absolutely beautiful bet. So the Lions defense, maybe the worst in all of the NFL last season. They were especially bad against the pass. They finished 29th in yards per pass allowed. They just offloaded Jeff Okudah to the Atlanta Falcons. So obviously there is a need at that position, and that need can be met with 2 strong options in Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Look for the Lions to take a cornerback with their first pick, first round, have a new starter to plug in. Beautiful number, minus 130. All right, Ian, what are you looking at next?
Next up, I'm going to look at Christian Gonzalez, the cornerback out of Oregon. I'm going to go over 8.5 for his draft position, coming in at plus money. A little plus money prop here, plus 110. From my understanding, if you take a look at the betting odds in most mock drafts out there, Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois is the clear number 1 cornerback. So this means we would need 2 cornerbacks selected in the top 8 for this bet to lose. And I think because with the recent Will Levis news, we're going to see a flurry of quarterbacks taken in the top 7. possibly 4. And if we get 4, I just don't think there's room for Christian Gonzalez to be picked in the top 8. And there's a reason why this number is at 8.5, and it's because the Atlanta Falcons pick at number 8. A lot of mocks had them taking a cornerback, but now that they've traded for Jeff Okudah from the Lions, I don't think the Falcons are going to go corner. I think that's basically what this bet comes down to. I think they might trade down, or I think they might take a defensive lineman. They might even take Bijan Robinson. Let's hope they don't do that. But I think that's what it comes down to. I don't think the Falcons go corner. So because of that, I think Christian Gonzalez is going to go later than the 8th overall pick. I love this prop bet. A little plus money action here, plus 110.
All right, my final pick for the 2023 NFL Draft. I think this one's mispriced. Over 4.5 quarterbacks to be selected in the first round. You get that at minus 115. So let's break this one down. So very easily, I think it wouldn't be unrealistic at all to see 3 go in the top 4 picks of the draft, and 4 could very easily go in the top half of the first round. Now, very high upside of Hendon Hooker. I think it's worth the risk. He's a bit of a wild card who will make or break this bet after tearing his ACL there in November. But this is a guy who could really thrive in the right system if a team's willing to be patient with him. And probably the reason why I like this bet the most, we have an incredible amount of quarterback uncertainty in the back half of the first round. Green Bay, Washington, Tampa Bay, Baltimore. If you say that these teams are set at the quarterback position for the upcoming season, what about teams that aren't set long-term at the position, like the Vikings or the Rams? Could easily trade into the round if the right player, like Hooker, is still available. I love it. Over 4.5 quarterbacks selected in the first round, minus 115. All right, Ian, bring it home for us. What are we looking at next?
Finally, next up, I mentioned Bijan Robinson. He has to do with my final NFL draft prop here. I like over 13.5 for his draft position. Right off the top, I'll let you know I am a little nervous about the Falcons taking the bait. But I think if they do take him, I actually think they trade down. So this is going to be all right. Bijan Robinson over 13.5 draft position at minus 110. No running back has been selected earlier than 24 in the draft since 2019. That was Saquon Barkley going to the Giants. And that hasn't exactly worked out for them. So I think teams are starting to smarten up and realize in today's day and age, the way that the game goes, there's no need to waste a top-tier pick on a running back. You can find diamonds in the rough, like the Falcons actually did last year in the 5th round, getting Tyler Algier, who rushed for 1,000 yards for them this year. And I don't think running back is a glaring need for any of the top teams in the draft. Really, the only team in the top 13 I could see taking them, maybe the Eagles, maybe the Falcons, but like I said, I think if the Falcons do want to do that, they can trade down and do it. Which brings me to my final point. Because there's not many teams at the top of the draft board who are looking for a running back, if any of them are, just trade down. And actually, the most common place where I'm seeing Bijan Robinson go at the majority of mock drafts is to number 16 to the Washington Commanders. Well, 16 is higher than 13, so if that happens, we will cash this bet. Give me Bijan Robinson from Texas over 13.5 draft position on Thursday night.